Hi, I'm Tim Beggy, and this is Guts and Bolts.
An adrenaline-filled look at today's technology, how it works, and how it got here. This week, I get a crushing lesson in smash and crash technology. First up, alcohol-related crashes injure one person almost every minute of every day. Hopefully, I won't be one of them as I give the portable breath tester a run for its money. Then, I get way too close a look at accident reconstruction technology and learn how investigators figure out who to blame. Once cars look like this, there's only one place left for them to go, the crusher. Check out what 200 tons of hydraulic pressure can do to your dad's Chevette. And some other stuff, too.
Film him, man! Put this on TV! It's history done my way. Next on Guts and Bolts. Right now,
I'm drunk.
I am drunk.
I'm drunk because
I'm drunk because
I'm going to show you.
I'm going to show you
the guts and bolts.
The guts and bolts
of a device.
Commonly
called
the
breathalyzer.
The breathalyzer. For nearly half a century, the portable breath tester has been increasingly effective in the apprehension and deterrence of drunk driving.
Drunk driving has been a problem for as long as there have been cars. The Model T was introduced in 1908. 2 years later, New York became the first state to pass drunk driving laws. The problem was enforcing those laws. Police officers in the field had no easy way to scientifically prove that a driver was intoxicated. That remained a problem for more than 40 years until the invention of the first portable breath tester. Today, breath testers are a key weapon in the battle against drunk driving.
And a company leading in this field has been LifeLock Technologies. And here to show me the guts and bolts of how the PBT functions is Director of Operations, Mark Larry.
Hello, Tim.
How you doing, man?
Good.
So what do you have for me?
Well, I have the Corvette of portable breath testers, the FC series.
Should we test me from
Sure.
the get-go, see how I'm doing this morning?
Well, let's see how you're doing. Now, you're going to blow firmly and steadily as long as you can.
Okay.
By 1938, scientists discovered that there was a direct correlation between the amount of alcohol in the blood and alcohol in the breath.
So there, 000 across the board. I get to keep my job.
This discovery inspired Indiana police forensic scientist Robert Borkenstein to help invent a breath testing device called the Drunkometer. In 1954, he made a portable version and marketed it as the breathalyzer. The best way to see how one of these works is to have a few drinks. Then we'll use it to test my blood alcohol concentration.
Now this is my field of expertise. What do I go for? How about both of them?
Blood alcohol concentration, or BAC, is the percentage of alcohol in your blood. A BAC of 0.1 means that there is 1 drop of alcohol for every 1,000 drops of blood. Today, the national standard for impaired driving is 0.08. For a guy my size, those 5 shots I just downed should leave me hovering right around that limit. Let's see what the breath tester says. This model uses a fuel cell, one of the most accurate ways to determine an alcohol level. Fuel cells are used to generate power. They work by taking a fuel, like hydrogen, and creating a chemical reaction to convert it into electricity. This PBT uses the alcohol in your breath as its fuel source. When you blow into it, it converts the alcohol molecules into a small electrical current. That current is measured and displayed as a number that represents your blood alcohol concentration.
Whoa, 0.076.
At 0.076, I'm right around the legal limit. But with the way I feel right now, I wouldn't even think about getting behind the wheel. And I hope none of you would either.
All right.
Just to show you how dangerous it can be, I'm going to take a little test. Fine folks here at Bondurant School of High Performance Driving have agreed to let me take a few runs on their accident avoidance simulator. This is designed to test my reaction time. I'm going to drive toward 3 traffic lights. If they all turn red, I have to stop. If only 2 turn red, I need to swerve into the green lane.
This simulates maybe a truck pulling out in front of you or a child running out in the street, and your responsibility is to get around them without hitting them and without hitting any of the cones that divide the lane.
For safety, I'll be on a closed course. Instructor Danny Bullock will ride shotgun with me, and I'll be under the watchful eye of one of Arizona's finest, Sheriff's Deputy Glenn Poe. isn't that hard. Well, maybe a little tough. One clean run out of 3. Thankfully, all that got hurt were a couple of traffic cones.
Okay, let's go talk to the officer, see what he has to say about it.
Tim, how do you feel? What happened to the windshield wipers?
Tipsy. That was just a precautionary measurement.
Okay, why don't we go to the back?
In the late 1970s, the government developed a series of standardized field sobriety tests. They include watching an object being moved side to side, walking a straight line, and balancing on one leg. These tests are one way to establish impairment. The PBT is another. But in places like Arizona, even if it shows your BAC to be under .08, you still can be arrested.
You've shown enough impairment that we would make an arrest in a case like this.
I don't blame you, because I really am a little bit off kilter. So let's go back and resume to the drinks and see what happens when I really get drunk. Okay, I think we're pretty much done kidding around. This is what you want to see, you know you do. Nothing about that tasted good.
I've just had more to drink than any human should in such a short period of time. I could go to the breath tester right now to see where I stand, but instead, I'm going to do what millions of Americans unfortunately do each year. Get behind the wheel without stopping to think about how drunk I am.
Whoa, whoa, red!
What am I doing?
Okay, up, turn. All right, off the gas, off the gas.
How'd I do?
Tim's impairment was too much to continue with the testing.
His driving ability went downhill very quickly.
What am I doing?
There was one time he went past the lights. All right, off the gas, off the gas. I asked him to slow it down. He actually got on the gas harder. I had to shut the car down. I actually had to turn the key.
Some drivers who get pulled over as drunk as I am right now might be stupid enough to try and fool the breath tester. There are a lot of urban myths about how to do it, but the truth is, none of them work.
Things like pennies, mouthwash, some mints, people would have you convinced that that can fool a breath measurement instrument, when in fact that's not the case.
Since the jig is up, it's time to learn the awful truth.
We want you to go ahead and provide a sample of your breath so we can determine what your alcohol concentration is on this preliminary breath.
Do you think I'll be beyond the blood alcohol level?
I'm almost certain you're going to be above the presumptive limit of .08.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what your observation is. Ready?
We're ready.
Okay, Mark. Oh my God.
Okay, so the results of that test show that you're .246. We find people like this at this level or even higher every night on the highways here in Arizona.
Today, I'm one of the thousands of people busted by portable breath testers every year.
What I'd like to do now is go ahead and place you under arrest. I'd like for you to put your hands behind your back.
Okay.
Even though it's a mock arrest, you can take it from me. It ain't no fun being drunk in the back of a police car.
Tim, tell them to stay tuned for more guts and bolts.
Oh my God, that is the truth. Seriously, stay tuned for more guts and bolts because I am cuffed and stuffed and will not be fighting it.
Drunk driving is deathly serious. More than 17,000 people die in alcohol-related traffic crashes each year, and another 500,000 are injured. To find out how to help, call Mothers Against Drunk Driving at 1-800-GET-MAD. Welcome back to this special Smash and Crash edition of Guts and Bolts.
Look at that. Man, I'm glad that wasn't me. Actually, that was a much better driver than I am.
That's Rusty Haight. What he's doing is teaching a class in accident reconstruction. Investigating a crash scene requires highly specialized detective work. And today, we're going to get to the guts and bolts of how it's done. When police are called to the scene of a real accident, they have to know how to collect forensic evidence and, from that, piece together what caused the crash. The formal study of accident reconstruction was first introduced in 1936 at Northwestern University. It was the brainchild of physics professor J. Stannard Baker. At that time, there was no standard way of investigating an accident scene. Baker realized that by taking precise measurements and applying the laws of physics, he could create equations that would tell him exactly what happened. It's a great method, but it's not easy. There are about 80 or so formulas you got to know. Rusty, a former cop, started teaching accident reconstruction in the classroom the traditional way. But like all good teachers, he was always looking for ways to make his lessons more engaging. So in March of 1990, he took his class outside, climbed into a Ford LTD, and smashed it.
I'm a believer in the idea that you learn best by doing. What it comes down to is we like to be able to provide opportunities to make every accident investigator better at their job.
So in the name of science, Rusty has crashed over 700 cars. And counting. Today, he's going to slam a Grand Am into a Jetta and show investigators something they never actually get to see, a real live crash. This twisted aftermath is usually all that investigators have to work with. Their job is to find the clues that will tell them what happened before they arrived.
So what jumps out at you first?
I would look at contact damage, and in this case, you've got some striping on the back door that would line up with the curves on the front bumper of the Pontiac.
Crash investigators start with the physical damage. It tells them how the cars impacted each other. Next, they look for skid marks. Thanks to Baker's equations, the length of the skid mark can be used to figure out how fast the car was going. Investigators do this kind of math every time they go to a real accident scene, but today they have the benefit of confirming their findings against hard data. Before he crashes, Rusty installs an accelerometer in the car. It records the exact speed at impact. Speed is the key to piecing together the puzzle.
I would look at this, determine how much time it took to skid, and then put him back in time every 1/10 of a second, and put him back in time every 1/10 of a second, and then bring them together and see what the vision obstructions might have been at various times.
Now the crash investigator places the cars back in time and replays the crash looking for view obstructions, faulty road conditions, whatever could have contributed to the accident. Once the scene is recreated, the investigator can make a judgment about who was at fault. It's a great lesson for the investigators, but it's not the easiest way to teach a class.
Well, a lot of doctors I've talked to have said, well, in a wheelchair, you're going to be in a wheelchair in 5 years. And truth be known, they've told me that 7 and 10 years ago, and so that didn't hold up.
It's Rusty's careful planning that keeps him safe. Next up, he's going to T-bone the 3,000-pound Grand Am into a 2,000-pound Chevy Sprint. Rusty always chooses the heavier car to lessen the impact he experiences. He also picks a low-impact angle of contact and never takes the car over 45 miles an hour. As an additional safety precaution, he wears a bulletproof chest plate and umpire shin guards. In his 13 years of wrecking, he hasn't sustained any serious injuries. That's a pretty good track record. So I'm feeling safe enough to tag along and check out a crash from Rusty's perspective. The Pontiac is equipped with airbags, but I'm still going to take a few backup measures. A bulletproof vest, shin guards, neck brace, and a mouthpiece should do the trick. Rusty's planning on taking us on a damn near 40-mile-per-hour slam.
What we're going to do is we're going to slide some body armor down in here.
What about the airbag itself? Is this going to bust my
come
face in half?
right
Not that it
here.
would matter, but no, you sure?
It's going to just envelope right here. Just going to big old marshmallow right there, and you'll be just fine.
It's going to be a boom type thing like that?
The seatbelts will do most of the work for you.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
Now, here we go.
Oh, my God. Oh, whoa.
How cool is that?
Oh, oh, man.
You okay?
Wow, yeah, I'm okay.
See? Told you nothing had happened.
Holy jeez. I can't believe I'm not going to get in trouble for this. That was quite a wallop. Actually, the worst part about it, I think, was my face. It was like someone just cold-cocked me.
And look at this mess. The investigators have their work cut out. I'll leave that to them.
You guys stick around for more guts and bolts. I think it's time to take these cars to the car crusher. It's up next.
Welcome back to this special Smash and Crash edition of Guts and Bolts.
Right now I'm in Iowa at the Al John headquarters, and I'm actually inside an Impact 5 car crusher. Today I'm going to find out how these Herculean machines operate.
Well, Tim, I don't think you want to find out from up there. Let's get down, because you're going to have 200 tons of force coming down your head in just a few minutes.
That's true. I don't need that. Workers' comp probably won't cover it.
Ken Digneen is the owner of Al John. His company has been crushing cars since the early 1960s. Back then, America was building automobiles much faster than they could get rid of them. Abandoned cars were piling up at junkyards and alongside highways. Ken Digg's dad, John, saw an opportunity and in 1962 manufactured the first commercial car crusher. The idea was to flatten cars, making them easier to stack and transport to metal recycling facilities.
Let's fire it up.
Well, it's a pretty simple operation. All you need to do is walk up here and turn this key.
Okay, turn it.
Then we switch to automatic.
Okay.
And we're good to go.
Ready to go?
Absolutely.
How do you get it started?
Well, it's a complicated thing. Did you bring your thumb with you?
This ain't your daddy's garage door opener.
Absolutely not. Push it and see what happens.
All right. Well, the owner of a blue Tempo, license plate 345 LMJ, claim your car, otherwise we're pancaking it.
The crusher gets all of its power from hydraulics. Hydraulics create force by pushing fluid from a narrow cylinder into a wider one. A small amount of force is all that's needed to create a very large amount of power. Al John's first crusher weighed 50,000 pounds and could crush one car at a time. The current model is made of high-strength steel and weighs in at 57,000 pounds. A 100-horsepower diesel engine drives two pumps which send oil through a valve and into two 8-inch cylinders. The result? 200 tons of crushing power that can easily take on up to 5 cars at a time.
Well, that's a 5-car sandwich right there. Can't do much better than that.
Well, it's certainly about as compact as you're going to find in the industry.
But I guess you could crush just about anything that comes to mind.
We can crush just about everything that comes to mind, but even if we can't crush it, this machine has pressure release built into it, so it won't harm the machine. So you're welcome to knock yourself out if you got anything maybe that's different than a car you'd like to throw at it.
I'd love to sniff around the neighborhood.
Well, let's go find something.
Okay. There's too much to choose from.
So shall we start with that hunk of John Deere first?
Yeah, let's fire that one in. That I can't wait to see.
I thought some wet and wild fun was in order, so we fill some 55-gallon drums with water and load them in. After the water barrels, I'm wondering what will happen to a smaller and possibly more explosive version. So we go for some sodas, and just for good measure, get them primed.
I've been waiting my entire life to see this. Woo! That's why we call them pops.
Next up, canned cheese. Now this I can't wait to see.
And of course, we gotta press ham. A little ham and cheese, right? Don't film me, film him, man. Put this on TV. Look at this guy's gotta go through.
Okay, that was pretty cool, but now I want to see something really cool.
careful. A lot of bad music may come out of this van.
Now this has been a lot of fun. Now I think it's time to top it off with a nice cold beer. We've got a keg, and I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but it may make a grown man weep.
Oh! Yeah! Huh? Can you believe that? That was great. Kendick, thanks so much. I had a blast today, obviously.
I always wanted to know why I got in this business.
Yeah.
Now I guess I know.
Thanks for watching Guts and Bolts. Tune in next week.